Hi, now in this video we're looking at multiplication and division with directed numbers. So I have some little pointers here. Let's get the first one. So my first pointer says a positive number multiplied by a positive number gives a positive number. So if, for example, positive 3 times positive 5 is positive 15. Remember I told you in the last video that positive sign, sometimes we leave it out, right? So sometimes you may see simply 3 times 5. And we know that 3 times 5 is 15, which is a positive number. We could also have 7 times 3. And again, that's positive as well. Both are positive numbers. Remember, number is only negative if you see a negative sign, right? This is 21. I can have positive 2 times positive 8, and that'll give me positive 16, right? And I can just write my answer as 16, right? So, right, so a positive number times a positive number, this is what the basics we know already. It gives you a positive number. Let's get the second one. I have a negative number times, a positive number times a negative number. So a positive number multiplied by a negative number gives a negative number. When we are multiplying and the signs are different, meaning you have a positive and then a negative, you're going to get a negative number. So that's okay. Positive 7 times negative 3 is negative 21. Sometimes you may see it like this. 5 times negative 2. I have a positive number, which is the 5, times negative 2. So a positive by a negative is a negative, and 5 by 2 is 10. I may have minus or negative 8 multiplied by 3. So a negative number, I'm jumping the gun, I'm going on to the next one. So let's pretend this is positive 8 multiplied by negative 3, and then I'll get negative 24. So the next point is, when you have a negative number first times a positive number, it also gives you a negative number. So once you have a negative number multiplied by a positive number, or a positive number multiplied by a negative number, you're going to get a negative number. So here we have negative 4 multiplied by positive 2. So a negative times a positive is negative, and 4 times 2 is 8. If I have negative 10 times 4, a negative number times a positive number is a negative number. 10 times 4 is 40. Understand? And the last one, a negative number multiplied by a negative number. So we have a negative number by a negative number gives a positive number. So for example, negative 9 times negative 3. So a negative by a negative gives a positive, and 9 by 3 is 18. If I have negative 2 times negative 3, negative number by a negative number is a positive number. 2 by 3 is 6, and you could just write it as simply 6, and this could have just been simply 18. If I have negative 5 times negative 4, once you have two negatives and you're multiplying, it's a positive number, positive 20, or it could simply be 20. So what did you notice? When the signs are different when multiplying, you get a negative number. When the signs are the same when multiplying, you get a positive number. So let's go look at that a little bit more. So when the signs are the same, meaning you have positive times a positive, you're going to get back a positive number. When the signs are the same, when you have a negative multiplied by another negative, you're going to get a positive, right? And then when it's the other way now, when the signs are different, meaning you have a positive times a negative, you're going to get a negative. And when you have a negative times a positive, you get a negative. So when you're multiplying and the signs are different, you get a negative. When you're multiplying and the signs are the same, you get a positive. Now let's look at it now with division. So we're going on to division now. So the good thing about division and multiplication with directed numbers, it's almost the same thing, same procedure, meaning that a positive number divided by a positive number gives a positive. When you have the signs are the same and you divide it, you're going to get a positive number. So positive 12 divided by positive 4 is positive 3, which is simply 3. If I have positive 8 divided by 2, right? I didn't put in the positive value 2, but it's understood, right? Remember, you don't have to put in that positive sign. and that would be positive 4, which is just 4. What if I have 16 divided by 8? Right, two positive numbers, I'm just going to get 2. That's like regular division that we know about with positive numbers, right? Alright, next one. A positive number divided by a negative number will give a negative number. Just like with the multiplication. So positive divided by a negative gives a negative. So we get negative 3. 15 divided by 5 is 3, negative 3. When we have a negative number divided by a positive number, you're going to get a negative result. So negative 4 divided by positive 2, a negative divided by a positive, you're going to get negative, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. So let's just do 2 examples for each one here and here. So 20 divided by negative 4. A positive number divided by a negative number gives a negative number. 20 divided by 4 is 5, so we get negative 5. Let's look at another one here. What if we have negative 18 divided by 9? A negative divided by a positive is a negative. 18 divided by 9 is 2. And then for the last piece here, 2 negatives dividing. So negative divided by a negative is a positive. So negative 35 divided by negative 7 will give me positive 5, right? So let's see. Negative 25 divided by negative 25. A negative divided by negative is a positive. 25 divided by 25 is 1. So my answer is simply 1, right? And what did you notice again? When the signs are different when dividing, you get a negative number, like in the second and third examples here. And when the signs are the same, like the first one here, when they are the same, you get a positive number. Now, let's do some exercises. Make all the multiplication and division mix up a little bit together, right? So for this exercise, I included the rules, right? So this is the rules for multiplication here, and these are the rules for division here, right? And it's the same rules for the both, right? All right, let's look at number 1. Negative 3 times positive 6. If you can't remember, move on to the chart. So a negative by a positive gives a negative. So you get negative, and then 3 by 6 is 18. All right, number 2. Negative 4 by negative 7. A negative by a negative gives me a positive number, and 4 by 7 is 28. All right, number 3. Positive 5 times negative 5. Positive by a negative gives me a negative, and 5 by 5 is 25. Number 4. Positive 6 by positive 10. That will give me positive 60, which is just 60. Number 5. Negative 3 times positive 11. Negative times a positive gives a negative. So, negative 3 by 11, 33. Alright, let's change the color of the pen while we're doing the last. Alright, so positive divided by a negative. Positive divided by a negative is a negative. 45 divided by 9 is 5. Negative divided by a negative gives a positive, and 100 divided by 20 is 5, positive 5, which could just be 5. Negative divided by a positive, negative divided by a positive gives a negative, and then 88 divided by 11 is 8. Positive 21 divided by positive 3, that's just positive 7, which is just 7. And by a positive, whenever these signs are different, you get a negative. 18 divided by 9, negative 2. Again, you could use a calculator and double check these answers as well. Practice, practice, practice. Practice makes perfect. Any questions you have, feel free to ask.